Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar, Exploring Microsoft Purview and Unlocking Data Insights. Thank you all for joining us today as we take a look at one of the most powerful tools in the realms of data governance and compliance. Throughout this session today, we'll be diving into the key features of Microsoft Purview and looking at how it can help you safeguard and manage your data effectively. Of course, we're super eager to hear from you today as well, so there's a Q&A segment at the end where we encourage you to ask any questions that you may have. After the webinar is finished, we'll be sending out some further information on Purview, and you should get a copy of today's presentation as well very shortly. So without further ado, you don't want to hear from me much longer. I'll hand you over to Colin Smith, our organiser and presenter of today's webinar. Colin, over to you.
Joshua, thank you and good afternoon. Right, well, let's kick on, and we're going to try and wrap this up fairly quickly today. So Microsoft Purview is basically a way of keeping an eye on your data and tagging and classifying it, and also interrogating it in a sort of global corporate-wide solution. So if we could have a look at the first slide, please. Yeah. So it's a set of solutions, and it can govern, protect and manage data wherever it lives. And I think that's important bit at the end is wherever it lives. That's what we're going to try and get across in this presentation today. For those of you who are really worried about data governance, I don't think you need any prompts, but for those of you who haven't really thought about it or are just starting to learn about the subject, data governance is effective data management within organizations, and it basically is the rules and procedures for collection, storage, quality, security and compliance. And it means that you can turn your data from a liability and make it an asset within your organization. Because it minimizes data misuse, errors and breaches by having a good data governance policy. Yeah. Okay. So key features of Microsoft Purview, and we'll touch on these individually, but it's data discovery, which is collection, evaluation of data, data cataloging, organizing that data lineage, which we'll dwell on a bit further along. Provides complete visibility about where your data is, where it came from, where it's going. And data classification is organizing data in, according to predefined criteria. And this all really comes together underneath your data governance policies, and that's a document, not necessarily a paper one, but it defines how an organization uses and manages its data. So, quick one on data discovery. It's the benefits of data discovery, finding where your data is. It's an enhanced process of understanding the data business, where it owns, where it's stored, who can access it, and how can it be transmitted. So it's a continuous and comprehensive monitoring of data, and it's obviously got some risk management and regulatory compliance elements to it. It means that you get 100% data visibility. In today's world, we tend to produce data willy-nilly, and sometimes we just lose sight of where that data is. And it provides data classification and tracking of sensitive data. And it gives you the ability, really coming back to the point I said where we produce data willy-nilly, it gives you the chance to clean and reuse the data and also scale the data across the teams for those that you need it. So Purview has the ability to do automatic data discovery by providing a data scanning classification on assets in your data estate. Just touch on metadata. Metadata is really tags that are assigned to documents. I think probably most of you in this webinar today will be aware of metadata, but for those of you that aren't aware, it's a way of adding descriptive tags so that the data can be recognized for what it was. So by using your metadata, you can create a holistic map of your data estate. Yeah. Data cataloging the importance of really having a catalogue of your data assets is speed and self-service. It's finding that data quickly. It means that you can have a comprehensive search to the relevant data. It means that you can use the right data in the right business context, and it improves trust and confidence in the data. And it means that it's easier to protect and make sure that data is compliant. Purview obviously has the ability to easily find relevant data using search experience, and it uses filters based on lenses such as glossary, terms, classifications, sensitivity labels, and more. So it's a very, very comprehensive search engine on top of Purview that you can use to search your data basically and produce your catalogue. Right, we'll touch on data lineage. This is probably one of the ones that a lot of you might not be aware of, really. But in a way, it's a log of what your data is and where it's been. And so if you think about it as a log, it probably makes it easier to understand. So it provides tracking capabilities that makes it possible to reconcile, make the best use of old and new data sets. So you can, for data migrations, when IT needs to move or anyone needs to move data from one place to another, what you need to understand is, what versions you are using, can you go back versions, and where is the location and life cycle of these data sources. And so data lineage provides all that. You can then use sort of Microsoft Purview obviously has this ability to create these logs for data lineage, but then you can push it into Data Factory, Data Share, Power BI, and capture the lineage, and you can visualize that lineage a lot easier. Data classification, process of categorizing data assets based on the sensitivity, criticality, and usage. And so it comes back to using labeling on meta tags, and that can indicate its level of confidentiality, who can get access to it, and what happens when you do something with that data. So Microsoft Purview has a data map which provides an automatic classification capability when you scan your data sources. If we come back to meta tags, what you don't want to be doing on every document that you produce is manually entering meta tags in. So Microsoft Purview has the 200 built-in system classifications, and you can then add custom classifications for your own data. So what happens is, as they get ingested into the scan, you can automatically classify those assets, and then you can override that and edit them manually if you think that they've not been classified correctly, or you want to add additional classifications to you. So it gives you the best of both worlds. It gives the automation to get you started, and that gives you the ability to edit once it's in the been scanned. So the overview of data governance policies in Microsoft Purview. What this is really, I suppose, the ability of Microsoft Purview to do it through a single desktop, really. So it's, there's tons of probably data you'll have out there. You'll have your mail, you'll have your OneDrive, you'll have your servers, SQL servers, and stuff like that. And all of those, you may say, well, I can search all of those relevant things. The beauty about Microsoft Purview is that it will go and search all those different sources for you and present it in one pane to you. So you're not doing endless rounds of searches on different systems. So you can search for data assets, you can grant access to what's required, you can support to SaaS, on-prem and multi-cloud data sources, and then you can create policies that leverage any of the metadata associated with those data objects. So in the real world is saying, if you put something like board level or something on as a metadata tag, then that means that only people with board level clearance can see that data across whatever system that is using. And you based it on role definitions, and you can do simple and abstracted, so read modify as well, so you can give levels of ability to look at that data and levels of ability to change that data. So this is a quick view of you. Look at this slide here, really, of what we talked about in the previous slide. So on the left-hand side, this is where your data's stored. So you might have on-prem servers, you might have stuff in the cloud, you might have SaaS applications such as 365 or something like that. And your data, your Microsoft Purview governance portal will look at all that, and then depending on your role within the organization, you can use it for data catalog, data sharing, data estate insights, data policy. And then you create your data map, and then you can push that out once you've done that into whatever system that you want. So SQL, Power BI, 365, etc. So it's an incredibly powerful product for really getting a whole view of your estate of data and then presenting it in the form that you want out. So just some quick examples here. There's tons all over the internet, and we'll give you some links at the end if you want to go and have a look at further into stuff. Financial, obviously, fraudulent activities is one of the big things in finance, and so you can use Purview to uncover patterns and anomalies that indicate fraudulent activities. Healthcare, you can look at gain insights into patient demographics, medical histories, and this will help with your clinical decision making. And if you're a research driven organization, it can tell you where to go with your research, really. Retail, of course, collecting data from 1,000,001 sources. You've got your tills, you've got your websites, you've got various other sources of data coming in, customer behavior surveys, etc. And so that allows you to bring all that data together, and then you can use it to personalize marketing campaigns, improve product recommendations, etc., and enhance the customer experience within your organization. So in quick summary, very quickly, benefits of Microsoft Purview: enhanced data visibility, makes your organization more efficient, improve data compliance, so it shows you care about information, increased data security, prevents fraud, cybercrimes, and stops your reputation being damaged as an organization. And greater data collaboration, i.e. knowing where all your data is, helps to improve your decision making, and it means that productivity and innovation and data quality within your organization gets improved. So quick slide here, really. We're not going to do a deep dive on this today, but it shows you quickly what you see when you kick off with Microsoft Purview. So on the left-hand side, really is sort of data security for information and cybersecurity teams. These are the different roles you might have within your organization. Data governance, data consumer, data engineers, data officers, and risk and compliance, obviously, for your legal side and your risk and compliance teams. To go in there, it's very easy. You just open the Microsoft Purview governance portal, navigate to the data map, sources, and select register. So you select your source type. So you want to put an SQL server in there, you just put SQL. If you want to put in a mail server, you put in your mail server. You fill out the form and just register the sources, and then select register, and then it'll start scanning away. And that's really takes you, and then it's leads you through various processes to enable you to do the classification and produce your data governance map. Yeah. Okay, so this is, as I said, a short one today, and I see we're only doing about 15 minutes or so, but it's, what is Microsoft Purview? Comprehensive set of solutions that can help your organization govern, protect, and manage data wherever it lives, which I hope we've got across today. And it provides integrated coverage, and it really helps with the fragmentation of data and lack of visibility on data and governance, and really the fact that IT is not the only person that controls data within an organization. Now you have everyone's really a bit of an IT specialist themselves. And so it reduces costs in multiple ways. It helps reduce the need for manual and custom data discovery and classification, and eliminates the cost for maintaining personal systems and Excel-based solutions. So, okay, well, before I hand you back to Josh, I'll just say thank you very much for listening to me today. Microsoft Purview is part of 365 E5 license, so you need to upgrade to E5. Trials are available if you want to try it out, and we are offering a professional services package, which Josh will tell you about. So without any ado, I'll hand you back to Josh now.
Fantastic, brilliant. Yeah, I've actually got a couple of questions here, Colin. Ian asks, how far back does Purview search?
As far as your data goes, really. So if you think about it, what you do, what Purview is doing is it's hooking into a third-party data source. So if you've been running your server for 12 years and you've got 12 years worth of data on, Purview can go and search all of that for you. Obviously, you might be saying, well, I don't want to look at stuff that is 12 years old because I know that that data isn't relevant to me anymore. So therefore, in Purview, you can tailor it to go back a shorter period if you wish. Or you might be saying, well, I know something happened in the years 11 and 12, and I'm sure there's a document in there that relates to that. You could say, well, let's search for that period of years 11 to 12 and see what comes up, see if we can find that document.
Fantastic. I hope that helps, Ian. 2 questions here from someone. Unfortunately, there's not a name attached to it, but as we currently use mail archiving for e-discovery, is Purview the same or better?
Good question, and I can't honestly comment on that. I haven't had any experience of using MAL. If MAL is taking stuff into an archive, then that is completely different to Purview. Purview is not an archiving solution; it is a discovery solution. So I suppose the advantage of Purview is that it is not moving your data around or creating copies of your data. It is looking at your data in situ and then providing you with a map of your data and classification and labels for your data, and then applying policies to it. Anything that starts maybe copying into a solution of in an archiving will obviously be taking up additional computing power and additional computer storage.
Fantastic. And just the final one here, because I don't think anyone, if you've got any more questions, now's the time. Does it cost a lot / take a lot of time to set up? I don't know if I could really do it myself.
Right. Does it take a lot of time to set up? It doesn't take you long to get going with it. However, fine-tuning it and setting policies within your organization could cause debate. I think, obviously what we're offering today, which Josh will finish off with, is a professional services offer related to Microsoft Purview that could help you get going and get you established with it. It's certainly not a daunting task when you first go into the portal, to think about, which data I want to hook up and stuff like that. Probably more daunting is the fact of once you start classifying stuff, is whether you want to add additional labels, whether you want to be generic, specific for your industry and start putting titles in like that, and that may require some thought. Yeah.
Fantastic, that's everything. Brilliant. I'll wrap it up. Obviously, big thanks to Colin today. As Colin alluded, we have a bit of a deal on at the minute with Pro Services, 20% off up to 4 hours when it comes to Pro Service related sessions with our team, who can help you and guide you through things like setting up or any other queries you might have around Purview. Big thank you to everyone for joining us today, this afternoon, and we will be back in a few weeks' time for a brand new webinar on Microsoft Copilot and its modern work capabilities. So make sure to keep an eye on our socials and Eventbrite and GoToWebinar for that link, and make sure to sign up. We'll hopefully see you then.